next generation infrastructure projects. Under the Gati Shakti program, a digital platform has been created under which 16 ministries, including rail and roadways together, will work towards forming an integrated planning and coordinated implementation of infrastructure connectivity projects. The Gati Shakti plan will also help in fulfilling ambitious targets that have been set out by the government for a period of 2024 to 25, and will look at expanding the length of national highways network to 2 lakh route kilometers, creation of 200 airports, heliports, water aerodromes, and much more. To talk about that and a lot more, joining us now on ET Now is the DPIIT Secretary, Mr. Anurag Jain. Mr. Jain, appreciate you taking your time out and speaking with us today at ET Now. This is Ruchi, Bhatia. Let me first begin by asking you, these are very ambitious targets that have been set out by the government, and the aim here is to bring together 16 ministries. I want to ask you on the execution, how will you ensure that 16 ministries are effectively able to work together and we are able to execute on what the Prime Minister has unveiled today?
Thank you. I think it is the technology which will make that happen. It is not that for everything people will have to work together. It is the integrated planning and the coordinated implementation which will come out of this Pradhan Mantri Gati Shakti national portal. It is basically a 200-layered GIS portal where all the ministries have put their master plans, what they are going to do up to 24-25, plus whatever is the infrastructure available as on today that has been put on the map. So if it is an integrated planning, I'll give you just one example. Suppose National Highway has to create a tunnel, and there is a visibility to each other. They know that in 2022, National Highway will create a tunnel, and in 2024, railways will create a tunnel. So now they know that they are going to create a tunnel somewhere near about on similar location. So if I do take two independent tunneling projects, I'll end up spending say about 6,000 to 7,000 crore on each of these projects. But if I just combine the two, it's a hybrid tunnel which takes the rail and the road together. Probably the cost will come down from 12,000 crore to 7,000 crore. It will be marginally more than one of the tunnels, but definitely much less than two tunnels. So this is how the cost efficiencies will come in through the integrated planning and coordinated implementation. But execution of the projects, this can be decided out of the two together. Which department will do the tunneling main portion, other person will lay its own infrastructure. It's not that everything will be implemented together. It will be the spirit and planning and coordination.
So you're basically... Allow me to come in on that, sir. You're saying this is going to lead to cost efficiency, better administration as well. In terms of timelines to be able to achieve this mega infrastructure plan that we have, are you expecting a significant cut in the timelines as well? And how will you look to ensure that states are also on board with respect to these mega plans that the central government has put out?
The digital tool also provides certain analytical tools and also decision-making support system. It gives you a 3D visibility of the project which you are planning. So what happens when I'm planning a project, if I am able to see at the time of planning itself, inception, that how much forest is coming, whether would I require a National Monument Authority permission, whether I'll require an eco-sensitive zone permission, what are the alternatives available? If I take another option, do I get better alternative, more cost efficient? So that planning part will make it better and faster for second. I'll come to know all approvals which are required. So all this will help in cutting down the regulatory approval times also. It is not that everything else is going to change just because of this, but it will put on table the issues involved quickly. As far as the states are concerned, as I started with by saying that all the 16 departments have put their data on it. Now we'll be approaching, as Honorable Prime Minister gave the clarion call today for states to tie it up. I'm happy to share that more than 20 states and UTs were represented by their heads, either the Chief Minister or the LG, and remaining states were represented at the minister level. So there is a seriousness, there was a follow-up. There was a first interactive session I held with the secretaries in the state about 5 days back. After this, we'll have regional conferences where we'll have more detailed discussions. And there is no reason why a state would not join. It is going to be beneficial to everybody. This is a technological tool which is available. They'll have the visibility of the data of Government of India. They would be able to plan their things better. Once they put their data on it, it will become even richer data, which will help both the parties. So, I mean, all of us are working for the development of the country. So there's no reason. They'll all come.
I also want to understand from you, sir, for the benefit of our viewers, what are we really looking to do here? Is it a single window clearance that the government has perhaps put out and the Prime Minister has announced today? And how are we really looking to subsume the previous announcements of 1.1 lakh crore rupee national infrastructure plan that was unveiled by the Finance Minister, sir?
Actually, let's not confuse the two. What was announced as a 1.1 lakh crore or 1.06 lakh crore national infrastructure pipeline, that is a list of projects which were announced, and there's a list of each department. If you total it up, it would add up to that amount of staggering amount of 100 lakh crore. But this is a digital tool. It is entirely different. It's going to change the way the government functions. Those projects, as and when the projects come, they come on this tool. So as of now, if I try to make an analogy, whatever projects are on this master plan would mainly be from the national infrastructure pipeline. I'll tell you why some outside projects would also come on it. And maybe certain other projects which are already part of the national infrastructure pipeline, as and when their DPR is made, their implementation comes in, they will continue to join this tool. This is only a dynamic tool. So whatever is actually right now, what has been put by the ministries is what would be achieved by 24-25. A project which is starting, say, 2022, which is still at the drawing table kind of a stage, and would get completed by 2028 or 27. Maybe it was part of national infrastructure pipeline, but it will not be part of this as of now. But it will get onto this tool later. It's a dynamic tool. It is just a way you function. You make the functioning more effective. So let's distinguish this. This is only that supporting tool. How those extra projects, what I'm saying, have come? When the national infrastructure pipeline was announced, those projects may not have been there. Like the advantage of this tool, I am saying, probably in my life, I had earlier not seen the highway doing a 2-kilometer project or a 6-kilometer project. But when they put their data on this, they realized that there are certain very small connectivity issues, the last mile connectivity. A port is only 6 kilometers away, or an industrial town is or just a few kilometers away. So if you put that missing link, so that's hugely beneficial to the society, to the country. So those projects, they quickly sanctioned.
Right. Is it also, sir, an indication that from the government's end, the capex push is going to continue in the years to come as well? As we're coming out of COVID-19, the big push towards growth is really going to come in from the government.
Obviously, infrastructure spend is the biggest spinner for economy. Like direct spending, what is done for the infrastructure, that is there. On top of that, you have the spin-off effects, and it will, the way, if you plan your resources better, same amount of money will give you much better outcomes and much better benefit to cost ratios.
In terms of improving India's competitiveness, I want to understand from you what will be some of the outcomes that you will expect now that this Gati Shakti plan will soon be put into action as well, sir.
This basically has been done with the objective of reducing the logistic cost. So that is why we are saying it's a multimodal infrastructure for connecting economic zones. Right now, the logistic cost in India, according to the estimates, is around 13%, while in a developed country, it would be around 8%. So there's a difference about 5% headroom is there, which if we work well, if we make our logistics improve, it will be reduced to that an extent. Once that happens, any reduction in logistic cost will reflect in the costing of the services and goods which we produce. So that will make Indian goods more competitive in the international market. So that will aid exports. In the same price, better quality, or at reduced price. So consumers will benefit. From the producer side, farmers and other producers of goods will benefit. Suppose end market is giving at certain price, say 2,000 rupees, and the intermediary is buying it from me at 1,700 rupees. So there's a 300 rupees logistic cost involved. The logistic cost goes down from 300 rupees to 200 rupees. So that 100 rupees additional cushion will actually be shared by the two proponents. Some part will go finally to the consumer, some part will go to the producer. That is how economics works. So this will be beneficial to consumers, this will be beneficial to producers, that is the farmers, the MSMEs, the businesses. It will help India improve its export competitiveness, and obviously the businesses will find it very attractive. So India's ease of doing business will also grow.
Okay, all right. On that note, sir, appreciate you taking your time out and speaking with us. That was the DPIIT Secretary Anurag Jain today talking to us about how the government is going to execute the Gati Shakti plan that has been unveiled by the Prime Minister today. So thank you very much for speaking with us. We move on then from that big announcement on to the latest coming in the earnings season. The latest coming in the earnings season, where both Infosys and Wipro today came out with the second quarter earnings. Both the companies today reported an inline set of numbers.